What's going on? What's going on, everybody? What's up? What's up? Twin Flames Unite. We're at it again, and I'm showing off.
I wonder who did it.
Oh boy, you know, we're just jumping on here a little bit late this evening because we received an email. Excuse me, still going through it. Received an email in regards to a topic that we felt a need to step out and cover it. And as you can see from the title, when would be a good time to actually give somebody a second chance? So,
Or a third.
hey, when to give multiple chances? Because if it's more than one, it's multiple. So we're just gonna give y'all a few seconds just to drop in, and I'm also gonna double check to make sure that the sound and everything is coming in clear. If you all can hear us just well, let us know. And I'm just gonna double check to make sure that the connection is good before we jump into this topic.
I'm drinking psychic tea, y'all.
We got somebody up late.
There's a whole bunch of herbs and stuff. I think rose petals and stuff. It's called psychic tea. Isn't that crazy? Yes, this is going to be a very good topic.
Yes.
This topic, I like it. I think it's very informative, and it's thought provoking. Provoking. Help me, baby.
Thought provoking.
Thought provoking.
Is this a psychic tea you gave me?
No, you
Just
asked
the
me from
mugwort? Okay.
mugwort. No, it's regular tea. It's just we're human, so we make a little mistake here and there, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So thought provoking. That's the word I'm looking for.
Okay.
It's really gonna make you think about your maybe current situation. It might not apply to you, but you might know somebody who this particular topic might pertain to, right? So maybe it's a conversation you can have with them and get them to really think about their current situation or circumstance, right? You never know. But this is a pretty good topic. See, I got my amethyst on deck. Kind of like help out with the vibrations.
Okay.
I love this amethyst. It's my favorite.
Just have to check, make sure the sound is good.
You guys see my amethyst? Look how pretty this is.
All right. So, connection is good. We got a few people on. We know it's late, so we're going to, if we get some stragglers coming in, we'll just get the stragglers coming in and we'll just update y'all as we go. But this particular topic for this video is pretty self-explanatory. But we had a situation where, and this is something that's come up multiple times when people talk about going back to their twin flame, because they've had an experience where things were going well, but then all of a sudden everything just fell off. And after it fell off, one particular individual has done a lot of shadow work, they've done a lot of soul work and things of that nature. And now they're thinking about, hey, should I try to go back and rekindle that flame with my soulmate or with my twin flame?
Right.
Well, we're gonna jump into some things to help narrow that down a little bit, to help you make some good decisions that really benefit you.
Right. To ask yourself some questions, Sometimes it's good to ask yourself questions. Oftentimes, we don't ask ourselves enough questions. We just kind of just do things. Oh, we might, instead of asking ourselves, we ask somebody else. So these are things that you want to address with yourself to see where you stand. So
did I eat the mugwort?
yeah.
Okay. I just want to make sure because we just got loose leaves in this tea right now. I'm like, I'm not trying to push past it and not drink it, but okay.
You can eat it if you want to. You can do all types of stuff with herbs.
All right.
But yeah.
Wow,
So
bitter.
yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh boy, you tripping already? He tripping.
I'm good.
All right. Okay. So we got a few people on here. And guys, if you guys are new to our channel, Just want to do a little bit of housekeeping. Welcome to our channel. And if you haven't done so, if you can just subscribe, like, share, if you can give us that small thumbs up in the video, it does really help with the algorithm for the channel. Because we are trying to get to, we're almost at 5,000 subscribers. Like just a few, maybe 100 or 200.
Less than 200.
Less than 200 subscribers away from 5,000. And then the next goal will be to get to 10,000, and try to grow the channel, just to get some good vibes out there, right?
Yep.
So we appreciate you guys for putting that little thumbs up on the video. But our topic of discussion is how to know when to give someone a second, third, fourth, fifth chance, right?
Just give it another go around.
Give them another chance. When is it okay to give them another chance? So the first question that we wrote down is, have I communicated my needs in a way that's easy for my partner to understand? Like, have you guys really sat down and have you really discussed your needs, like with your partner?
Like
is this something that you've done already?
Like a real heart to heart.
Yeah.
Like just really laying the cards out on the table, because we've counseled some people that are in relationships with their twin flame, and things can get difficult from time to time. And a lot of times the emotions and everything get high or they get low, and things are said and done in a light that they really didn't want to present.
Right. And the biggest thing that I notice is that sometimes we can get so caught up in what's going wrong, or if our needs are not being met, but sometimes we don't take the time to address our needs. Like, we just assume that the other person is going to know what we want, and sometimes they just don't know.
Unless you're dating a mind reader, they're not going to know.
Yeah, sometimes they really don't know. And so what I noticed, the biggest mistake that I see people make, and I used to make that mistake, is we tend to love people how we view love, right? Everybody sees love differently. So you're loving someone off of your standards and expectations, and then sometimes it could be confusing when they're not reciprocating what you're giving them. You might be buying them flowers, you might be taking them to dinner, you might be making up the bed, you might be cooking, doing all this stuff, but it's kind of like you guys are speaking two different languages, the love language.
Yeah, really are.
So it's a misconception, because the other person really don't know what you need or what you want, and vice versa. So it's really important, like early up in the relationship, you have to sit down and you both have to tell each other how you receive love and how you give love. How do you view it? Because everyone views it differently depending on how we were raised. Different cultures do things differently, especially if you're like in like two completely different cultures come together. Love is love. You can't tell yourself who to love.
No. So, just because you come from a different culture doesn't mean that y'all can't be together.
Right. It just means you have to have that heart to heart, so they can understand you and you can understand them and you can understand each other. Right, somebody just said something.
Yeah, it sounds like the mic is muffled or rubbed against something.
Oh, is it better now?
Yeah, let us know if the sound is coming in. Let me check this, see what it sounds like. Just because you come from a different culture doesn't mean that y'all can't be together.
Right, it just means you have to have that heart.
Yeah,
It's better.
I mean, it sounds better. If
Okay.
y'all can let us know if it's coming through, fine. We got the mics over to the side, so hopefully nothing is really muffling it.
Yeah, am I rubbing on something?
I don't think
It
so.
might be mine. We'll put it down. Hopefully it's better. She said it's muffled. Okay, put it higher. Okay.
Just put your hand around in there.
Okay.
There you go.
Is that better?
Yeah, hopefully that'll be better.
Hope that's better. Okay, yeah. So back to the topic. So you want to make sure that you communicate your needs to your partner and they understand what your needs are, what your expectations are, and vice versa, so that there is no assumption like, oh, he's supposed to know that I love this, or she's supposed to know that I love this. No, you got to make that clear and try to do it as early up as possible.
Yes, 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 yes.
So if you've already communicated all your needs to your partner and they know how you feel, they know where you stand, they know the things that you're working on, and they are really not really respectful of your needs, um, so yeah, you might want to really consider maybe not. Maybe this is not the time to give a second or another chance until they can really, if you've already communicated all of your needs and they can really say, I truly understand how you feel, I understand how you stand, where you stand, and they're trying to work on it, then yeah, why not?
Yeah, it's kind of like, you know, in the movie Avatar, where towards the end of the movie, where the guy said that I see you, and we all understood that it was from a different perspective. It wasn't just so much I see you physically. It's like I see you energetically.
I see you exactly. So you wanna get that connection going where they really see you.
Right.
That's what you need. You need that click moment.
Yeah, you don't need them to see the mask.
Right.
You want them to know who's behind the mask. They need to know how you're structured.
Right. Look you in the eyeball and be like, I see that soul in there, and understand that the eyes are windows to the soul, and they can look beyond and they can be like, I see you.
Right.
That's so if they can't see you, it might not be, I mean, hey, everybody has their choices. We all have free will, but it might not be recommended, right?
Right.
And you want to read the next one, baby?
Sure. Yeah. So for the next one, it is, am I receiving as much as I give?
That's important, guys.
And also vice versa. You want to make sure that it's a really even give and take. Because, you know, like with our relationship, just putting some things out there, you know, we split up the cooking responsibilities, right? So we'll make sure there's not too many times that Leisha cooks, or it's just too many times that I cook. You know, we try to keep a balance and really understand how, and other things that we understand is because once again, you have to make sure that somebody can see you, they understand you.
Right.
And when it comes to cooking, we understand that in order for the food to be good, the person has to be in a good mood.
Yes, guys. Don't let nobody cook for you. Okay, tip. Don't let anybody cook for you and then they might be angry or sad, or don't let anybody cook for you with those type of vibrations.
No, don't do it.
Be like, you know what? I'm gonna just go eat some McDonald's. you better off eating some McDonald's. Be like, nah, I'm good. I'm so okay. You don't gotta cook. I'll drink some water. You know what? Matter of fact, I'm fasting today. Do not let nobody cook for you under those type of vibrations.
No.
Okay.
It'll be so much better for you and everybody else involved.
Right. You want to make sure that, you know, you treat your relationship like your bank account, right? You want to make sure that it's balanced. You don't want to go swiping your card and you know you ain't no money in there, and then you overdraft. You get overdraft fees because it's not balanced.
Just making a little change on the mic. Hopefully this helps out. Yeah, some people still saying it's a little muffled. So
that's not good.
Just let us know if that sounds a little bit better.
Is that better?
Yeah, hopefully that sounds better.
I hope that sounds better.
All right.
All right, give us a thumbs up if it sounds better, guys.
Yeah, might check 1 2.
She said much better.
There we go.
Oh,
okay.
Wonderful.
There we go. Just had to make a little adjustment.
A little adjustment.
All right.
Okay. So yes, so you want to treat your relationship like your bank account. You gotta balance it.
Gotta balance those books.
Gotta make sure them books is balanced, guys.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure as much as you're giving, you're receiving, so you can have that. That's how you have harmony within a relationship. That's the flow. You know, you want to have that flow. Because if you're rocking too much to this side, or if you're rocking too much to that side, you're gonna sink.
That's facts.
Yeah, you want to stay afloat, and you want to keep that harmony going.
Yeah.
You know, that's how they play the opera, right? You know, you got that. That's what it is, literally.
Yeah. And you know, that's that part is actually a part of the technique that we talked about before in depicting patterns. You
Yes.
know, because before you get back into a relationship, you look at the patterns of what was going on in that relationship prior to you all breaking up.
Mm.
And you want to see if those patterns are still there.
Hmm.
And if you notice that that person is taking more than they're giving, or vice versa, then you
Right.
want to make sure you address that and make sure that this person can give as much as they receive.
Exactly. And sometimes people might not be in a position to give as much as they receive. And then that's where compassion and understanding
Mm-hmm.
comes in.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's some people, they might not necessarily want to be in that situation where they're not able to maybe give as much as they receive or vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
But if they address it and they say, hey, you know what, this is a situation, I apologize about it, I am working on it, and they're actively working on it, that's somebody who's showing incentive to, work on making a change because life is not perfect at
No,
all.
it is not.
Right? But if they're not working on anything and they just good with the imbalance and they don't care about the imbalance, you really might want to think about, hey, maybe this might not be a time to give another chance just yet.
No, 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 no.
Let's revisit this another time, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And the next one we have is my partner behavior is something that I can live with.
Mm.
So this
Now,
this is a big one.
because if if Johnny if Johnny is, I'm just going extreme here, y'all. If Johnny is a stripper, and you know that he's out there in the club and he's getting all these tips from all these ladies, can you really deal with that lifestyle?
Hey,
Just taking so I'm just taking some extremes here. You know,
yeah,
sometimes you got to go to extremes to really get some people, but you have to understand. And let's go to the lighter side. Let's say
yeah.
the person that you're dating, they work like almost 90 to 100 hours a week.
Ooh, that's a lot.
You know, this person, they're at the job, they're working. Of course, they're not cheating, they're just working, right?
They at work working.
They at work working. And if you know that you need a lot of attention, a lot of affection,
Yeah.
it may not be a good thing to go into a relationship with somebody who you know can't give you time, even if they wanted to give you time.
Yeah, you got to think about that, and you have to answer yourself honestly. Like, is this something that I'm willing to put up with?
Mm-hmm.
Ask yourself this question: can I honestly live with this person like this? Maybe they might be addicted to something, maybe alcohol. They might be an alcoholic.
Oh,
It
yeah.
might be something that they're trying to overcome or quit. They don't want to drink anymore, but they keep drinking.
Mm-hmm.
Or they might be addicted to some type of drugs or whatever, and they're trying to
Yep.
stop, but they keep doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to be honest with yourself. Like, is this really something that I can live with? Or maybe they unfaithful. They like to cheat a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Sex addiction is a thing.
it is. Maybe they like to have a lot of different women or women and men. I don't know. We're in 2020. So, but you got to ask yourself, is this something that I'm willing to put up with? Is this something that do I love myself more, or do I love this person more than I love myself? You have to ask yourself these tough questions. Can I live with this?
Yeah.
And if you can't live with it, you gotta you might not want to think about giving a second or third, fourth chance, whatever. How many numbers you up to?
Right, right. I'm
Right?
sorry, I was thinking a little childish
I
there 'cause I
know.
was thinking
I felt you.
I was thinking about the guy from New York Undercover. I don't know if y'all remember that show way back. I can't remember how to pronounce his name, but it's Michael Yova or Yoka or something like that. But he was on New York Undercover. It was a '90s sitcom show that used to come on way back when.
Ooh, baby, you
And
telling your age.
yeah. But you know, he likes what he oh wow, I don't want to say the wrong thing, especially because we know we got some people in the community, but he likes the men that have transitioned to women.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. That
Michael
yeah,
Yova.
I know who you're talking
Yeah.
about. You see, everybody has different preferences, and hey, that's their choice. But you have to ask yourself the tough questions. Is this something that I
You can
can live
deal
with?
with.
And sometimes we say, oh, I could deal with stuff, or I could put
Mm.
up with this, and then you carry on into the relationship. You wasted about 2 3 years, and then you realize that, you know what, I really lied to myself. Don't lie
Mm-hmm.
to yourself. You're just wasting your little time you got here on planet Earth to have your human experience.
Yeah.
So, I mean, people
Yeah.
lie to us all the time, right, baby? They got
Oh.
people always lying to us.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need to lie to ourselves.
Yeah. And it's just one thing that I gotta touch on because you said something that um, struck a nerve for me
Yeah.
because I stayed in the marriage for 10 years, and part of one of the things I lied to myself about was that I didn't mind that she was overweight, which in reality that was an issue because after a while, especially when the love is gone and then there's no sexual attraction, I mean, what else is there to really hold on to, you know? And Steve Harvey had this saying, don't give up an 80% person for 20% of your pleasure, which has some truth to it.
Yeah.
It definitely has some truth to it, but you got to be honest about yourself
You
and
have to.
understand that whatever 20% they're lacking, that you can deal with that.
Right, exactly. And
Mm-hmm.
everybody's different. Everybody's got their own thing that they like.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a matter of what your preference is. It goes back to your preference.
Yep.
Everybody don't have the same preference. Everybody don't like the same things. Some
Mm-hmm.
people like them big, some people like them small, some people like them skinny, some people like them tall. Whatever your
Sound
preference
like
is,
Dr. Seuss.
I'm just saying, whatever your preference is, you just have to make sure that you be honest with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And the next one that we have is, does my partner actually listen and understand my point of view?
Mm.
Right? That's a big one.
Yeah.
That's a huge one. You have to ask yourself that question. If you're in a relationship and no matter how you cut this cookie, this person is just not understanding what you are saying, and they're not even trying to understand what you're saying.
Still don't not get it right.
Still don't not get it right. You could sit down and you could be talking for a whole hour
Mm-hmm.
trying to explain something so small and so simple that you just got done talking to your girlfriend or your guy about whatever, and
Mm-hmm.
they get it.
Mm-hmm.
Simple, right? And you here now with your partner trying to explain the same thing, maybe even in a simpler term, but they don't want to see it. They don't
No.
want to understand it. They don't want to get it. They only want to see things out of their lenses, not yours.
Mm.
And you guys have been through this rodeo before.
Yep.
You might not want to give
Yeah.
another chance just yet.
Yeah. And just a quick side note, I firmly believe, and this is my opinion, that this is one thing that you really shouldn't make an exception for.
Right.
Okay? Because at the end of the day, you really want somebody who can see you.
Right.
And if they can't see you and they can't see through your lenses, or if they can't put themselves in your shoes, then the connection is not there.
It's gone, baby. It probably wasn't even there in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Just go on and just put your big boy drawers, your big girl panties on, and just do
Mm-hmm.
what you have to do. Love yourself first. You
Yes.
gotta love yourself first. Love yourself, respect yourself enough to know, listen, baby boy or baby girl.
Linda.
Listen, Linda.
Listen, Linda.
Listen, Linda. I got to go. Like,
Mm-hmm.
because you have to really think about it. When we here on planet Earth, every day, next week, tomorrow, every day that goes by, it's taking us a step closer to our exit point here.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you talk about spending money, you can always get money back. That money is easy to get. You could manifest money. You can go to work. You can make money. Somebody can give you money. If you lose $10, you can get back that $10.
Yep,
That's
you
not a
can.
problem. You lose $100, you can get back $100. You lose $1,000, you can get back $1,000, right? But baby, when you lose your time, Okay, when you lose your time, I want y'all to understand that when you lose your time, you ain't getting it back. It
Mm-mm.
is gone. It is gone with the wind, and you're not going to get it back. So, more than watch how you spend your time more than how you spend your money, pretty much. Like, you want to be wise with how you spend your money, but how you spend your time, man, that's life force. That is
Mm-hmm.
life force. Like, people are literally taking your life away, right? So that's why you
Yep.
got to ask yourself these tough questions, and you have to be honest with yourself so you could spend your time wisely here on planet Earth and gain what you need to gain while you're here, right? So yeah, and the last question that we have,
Mm-hmm.
baby, I'm gonna let you talk about this one.
You want me to talk
I
about
want
this
you to
one?
talk about the last question that we have. This is a
Okay.
big, this is a biggie, biggie, biggie.
Right, right. So, what's holding me back from leaving the relationship?
Mm,
Mm.
question mark. So if you
What's
answered,
mm.
if all of these questions, you go down this list, right, and all of your answers were no,
Hmm.
right? What's holding you back?
Why can't you pull that trigger and just really really see the value in letting go?
Yeah.
Because what you're saying, if you're not able to get the answers that you're looking for after asking these questions, then hopefully you come up with some other questions to really
Right.
dive deep into as to whether or not you should give somebody a second chance. And if you're not giving so if you're not getting the answers that you're looking for,
Hmm.
what are you holding on to?
Right. How about give yourself a chance?
Mm,
Maybe yourself needs a chance.
right.
Yourself might be like, hey, what about me? Don't I get a chance? Right?
And you know, it's I've heard this question so many times when it comes to success, relationships, or just experiencing the life that you want to experience. You know, so many people ask the question, why me?
Yeah.
But the question should be, why not me?
Bam.
Okay?
Bam.
Like, I deserve love.
Yeah.
I mean, every part of me, I am enough. I know this. So, why don't I deserve a relationship that's fulfilling?
Exactly. And you can provide that to
Mm-hmm.
yourself. You can provide that to yourself by answering these questions honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just be honest because, sometimes, because I've been there also, where, and I don't even know where this concept comes from, but I think I know it's a lack of self love
Mm.
and wanting to be in a relationship so bad
Mm.
that you rather be with someone and be miserable
Mm.
than be by yourself.
Yep.
Because it's this lonely thing. And then sometimes, when you're getting down in age, you're getting a little older, the self-esteem starts getting shaky, baby, especially for women, you're getting older. So now you're feeling like maybe I'm less attractive. You probably had like 2, 3 kids by now.
Mm-hmm.
You might feel like, who's going to find me attractive? I already got these kids and, and telling yourself all these things. I don't have, probably don't have a degree, or maybe my job isn't good enough,
Mm.
or, I can't afford to, all these stories that we tell ourselves,
Over and over and over
over and
again.
over again. And then the more we tell ourselves these stories, it's going to get set in the subconscious. And then after a while, you start believing these stories.
Mm.
And then you start experiencing these stories that we like to tell ourselves.
Yep.
So that's a loop that you don't want to get stuck in too.
Revolving door.
That's a revolving door that's not going any place.
Mm-hmm.
So never feel like if you're not good enough or nobody would ever find you attractive, so you staying in this stagnant situation that's not helping you to grow and expand.
Mm-hmm.
That's don't tell yourself that story. Tell yourself a different story. Tell
Yes.
yourself that you're beautiful, you're wonderful, You know, tell yourself that you are love. You came from love. You are love.
Yes.
You know, this world is here for me to experience. You know, I find love within myself. So once I find love within myself, it's all around me.
Mm-hmm.
Start changing the stories, and then watch your life just blossom. You know,
Watch the universe unfold right in front of your
yeah.
eyes.
When you open up to the universe opens up to you too.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have to feel like you know, shit.
No, you don't have to.
You don't gotta feel like that.
Mm-mm.
Ask yourself these questions. Let me run through these questions again.
Just one more time.
Just one more again for the ones who's just joining us. And if you guys just joining us, if you can give us a thumbs up, if this information is at any type of help, just give us that small thumbs up so we can get the algorithm going with this YouTube channel.
Yep. And if you're watching live, drop a comment. Let us
Yeah,
know if this is
yeah.
resonating with you as
I mean,
well.
drop a comment if you know if you have a question, if we touched on
Oh, yeah.
something that you know hit home, and you have a question. Go ahead, and drop your question in the chat. We would be more than happy to answer any questions. But just so we can run through these really quickly, um, how to know when to give someone a second chance. This is what we're talking about. So the first one is, have I communicated my needs in a way that's easy to understand? So have you talking to your partner about how you feel, you know, what makes you feel emotional or whatever? Have you discussed your needs with your partner? Have you communicated these things to your partner? If you have and they're still being disrespectful, it might be time to leave, right?
Or just don't give them another second chance.
Don't give them no more chances. Just be like, you know what, I forgive you. And you know, one thing I learned about forgiveness, you can forgive someone, but that doesn't mean that you have to stay in a relationship with somebody. Okay? Somebody might hurt you, you know, you forgive them, but it doesn't mean that you're locked in and you're bound and you have to stay because you have forgiven them. Forgiveness is for yourself. So you can release and you can let go and you can move on.
Yep.
It's not something that binds you to somebody.
Yeah. And Maxine, we're going to touch on your comment in just a moment once we go through on that.
All right. So the next one is, am I receiving as much as I give? And you want to make sure that relationship is balanced. You know, are you receiving as much as you? Are you the one that's giving? Or are you the one that's receiving? After a
Balance
while,
that out.
that bank account is going to dry. It's going to dry up. You're not going to have any more overdraft protection.
I don't think you'll be getting those overdraft fees.
Right. And those notices, right? And then you want to ask yourself, is my partner behavior something I can live with? Be honest with yourself. Be completely honest with yourself. Is this something I can continue to do? Like you already said, listen, I can't do this. Like, when are you going to change? Are you going to do something different? And they like, nah, this is me.
And when they tell you who they are,
believe them. When somebody tell you who they are, please don't make excuses for them. Please believe these people. They're trying to tell you. Don't make up stuff in your head. Don't create these stories in your head. Believe them. They're probably trying to help you.
Yep, they really are.
Right? And does my partner actually listen and understand my point of view? Gotta ask yourself these questions. If you're always arguing, if you keep arguing about the same thing over and over again, if they're constantly cheating, they're constantly lying, you constantly have to go through this thing about text messages and phones, and you keep doing that.
Social media.
But it's just not worth the time. You could be reading a book someplace. You know, you could be going to Egypt, in the tombs, in the pyramids.
Hell, you can just be having a glass of wine.
You could be having a glass of wine. You could be in Florida, in the beach. Like, it's so many other things that you can be doing instead of wasting your time and repeating the same thing over and over again with somebody that's draining your energy.
Right.
Sucking the life force out of you.
Literally.
Right? And the last one that we have, what's holding me back from leaving this relationship? That's something, if this is for somebody on this live, I don't know if it is, but we just felt like we needed to do this topic. If this is for somebody that's on this live, then you really need to ponder upon this. Like, if you answered no to all of those points, you got to ask yourself the big question: what is holding me back from leaving this relationship?
Yeah. And Maxine, the question that you asked as far as seeing unhealthy stories. Um, I would, if you're able to clarify on that, what you mean by unhealthy stories. But for what I'm gathering and what I'm feeling is that there are some things that just don't line up to who you are that this person is displaying. So you have to ask yourself, is this something that I would be willing to deal with? Do I?
Unhealthy stories
Yeah.
from who? From people around you?
No, she's where is she? Where did it go? I feel like I have met my twin flame, but I'm unsure because I've seen some unhealthy stories.
Oh, about twin flames?
Hmm.
Oh, that ain't got nothing to do with you, boo boo. You can't live your life based off of other people's experiences because twin flames. Okay, so think of twin flames like a set of twins, right? So when you have a set of twins, they're gonna look alike because that's why they even call twins because they look alike, right? But really think about it. Outside of twins looking alike, like identical twins and their DNA, similarities and stuff like that. Outside of those twins looking exactly alike, their behaviors are usually pretty different. It's very rarely that you'll find a set of twins that do everything the same. And that's my point going back to twin flame relationships. So yeah, it's a twin flame relationship. They're gonna have like similarities or whatever have you. But with each twin flame dynamic, they're gonna have their own individual experience. And you don't wanna compare yourself to someone else's experience.
No.
Because you might be missing out on your own. Because comparison is the greatest thief of all joy.
Yes.
Okay? So don't stop comparing yourself to other people's relationship, whether it's single flame, twin flame, soulmate, old mate, doesn't matter. You have your own life to live. You have your own experience to experience. And don't let anybody's sob story stop you from enjoying bliss.
No.
Because
No,
we have
no.
choices here that we make on this planet. And each time you make a choice, right? Each time you make a decision, it takes you into a dimension.
Yes, it
So
does.
you don't know what type of choices these other people are making, right? They could be doing things they don't have any business doing. But you're different. You have a different life. You have a different perspective. You have a different point of view. So your experience is going to be your own experience.
Yep.
Don't link it to somebody else's experience.
It's all for you.
I hope that was helpful.
Yes, yes, yes. And somebody, I just found this hilarious. Somebody, where did it go? Is there a chicken soup for the twin flame soul? That would be an awesome book to put together.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that.
would be dope. That
I,
would be
I,
dope.
I really do. That's catchy. You should
Yeah.
write a book about it.
Yes, you really should.
Yeah, I encourage you to
Hey.
write a book about that. That's a catchy book. Shoot, I'd buy it.
Yeah, go ahead and write that thing.
Go write that book,
Go
man.
ahead and start doing some interviews with some other twin flames, getting their
Yeah.
experiences on their relationships, and yeah, that would definitely help out. And you know
Yeah.
what? On that note, I had a feeling of pulling the card for the collective just to see what
where
the
we at?
energies are going on.
Yeah.
Because it's been so much that's been going on this past week. Actually, ever since that full moon, that
I
wolf
know,
moon,
right? That wolf moon kind of like shook something up.
it really did. I mean, hell, we having psychic stuff. Our psychic,
Words too.
our psychic abilities are just really coming into form.
Yeah, it's
And
heightened.
like it's even so much now. We're in Alabama, y'all. We are in the Bible Belt, right?
Man,
There are places around here that are offering magic classes.
crazy.
This has not happened before.
They sneaking and doing
So-
it, but they still doing it.
So, yeah, times to change.
Yeah.
But I'm just gonna pull one. I'm gonna let you do it. I'm gonna do this.
Let me. I'm in
got
charge.
this.
I'm in charge.
You got to stay on the
Oh, I gotta
comments.
say.
And if any one of you all would like to have a card pull, you can definitely send a note. Send a donation via Cash App, and we drop the information in there. You can send it to $twinflamesunite. But we're gonna pull one and see what's going on.
Oh, Goddess Life, good job. She said, I let my flame go, and I'm okay with him going on his path by himself. You got it? Just be like, listen, I'm going to meet you at the top.
Yeah,
It's what you tell him. See you at the top.
that's the best way to
Because
do
he's
it.
going to ascend, and then y'all be right there chilling. Like, deuces, I'm see you at the top. He ain't going nowhere if it's your twin flame.
They ain't going nowhere.
Let him go through his experience. Let him, get on his roller coaster. And so when he get off the roller coaster, he can be like, oh man, I went up here, then we came down, and y'all could talk about it. That's cool.
What's that paragraph that somebody wrote?
Oh, somebody said the magician is so good, isn't
Yes,
it?
it is.
Oh, the magicians is so
All right.
good. If you guys haven't seen the magicians, you guys really need to see the magicians. It reveals so much in this matrix. It's just crazy. You got to listen, really pay attention, because they drop a lot of nuggets in the magician.
Yep. All right, so I'm gonna pull this first card, and we're gonna see what comes up. All right. Thought.
Ooh.
So, just this popping up right here really means that collectively we really need to monitor our thoughts and understand that we are not our thoughts.
Really not?
Just like what we were talking about yesterday, about how we were going through our exercise and we were going through seeing who we are, right? And one of the things that I put down for myself is that I'm the observer. Like, I'm watching my thoughts. I am not my thoughts.
Nope.
And I can choose to decide on how I react or I don't act towards the thoughts that I have. And we're just gonna dive a little bit deeper into that, but collectively, we need to be mindful of our thoughts.
Exactly, and know that our thoughts create our reality. Thought is the foundation of consciousness. So don't rush your thinking. Be certain, And this is exactly what we were talking about, right? Got to ask yourself these questions. You got to ponder these questions, right? Energy flows where attention goes. Where is your attention going? Right? Be mindful of the universal laws, cause and effect. Cause and effect. Don't forget about cause and effect. That's a big, big biggie. As within, so without. Our conscious and unconscious mind in accord. So you have to make sure those two are in alignment. So, your subconscious and your conscious mind, you got to make sure those things are in alignment, because if it's not, things are going to be manifesting itself in your life, and you don't know how, you don't know when, where, and why. That's because the subconscious, man, that's the one that rules. You got to get familiar with the underworld. This is subconscious.
Yes.
You can't run from it.
You got to get in contact with Osiris and have him show you how to get through your subconscious.
Yeah, get in touch with Osiris. He's king of the underworld. The underworld is the subconscious mind. That's the one that drives the car, really.
Yep.
Right? The conscious mind is just the wheel that turns it left and right. So, sometimes you do something and you're like, oh my God, I can't believe I did that. I don't even know why I did that. Your subconscious mind knew why you did it.
Yep.
And so if you get familiar with your subconscious, then you'll know why you do it, and then you'll have more control over yourself. Instead of just having these things just emerge and just, stuff just happening and you're living accidentally.
Right.
Right? So you got to be realistic, right? It says good and bad go hand in hand. Same side of the coin, baby. Same side of the coin. That's how you flip it, right? Change your mind and change your life.
Yes.
That's the thought. It says do not overthink or speculate. You got to know. Get into the knowing.
Yep.
Question the critical mind. Speak up. That's thought. That's where we at collectively. Look at that.
Yep.
That's so cool.
Yep.
I like
Gotta
that.
get it. Gotta get it. Well, y'all, we know. Hopefully, y'all enjoyed this MLK Day off, and we know a lot of y'all have to get up early in the morning and get back on that grind. So we don't want to
Yeah.
hold y'all off for this, but hopefully, this information helps your day to go by a little bit easier as far as letting go of some things, because you don't want to go into your job and be thinking about, oh man,
Right.
what's John doing? Did he read that article I sent him on Twin
I
Flames?
know.
Or did he watch that video? It don't
Mm-mm.
matter.
Right.
Especially if you've gone down that list and the answers that you've received
It's no.
show that they're not worthy of a second chance.
Yeah.
Let it go.
Don't waste your time. Go write you a book. Publish your book. Do something
Write that
else.
chicken soup for the soul for Twin
There
Flames.
you go.
That's how you do it. But yeah, so we just wanted to drop those gems for y'all. Hopefully the information was helpful. And we thank y'all. We love y'all. I know somebody already put on here that it was 11:11 where y'all were. So
Wow.
yeah, we catch it every time.
What did Goddess say?
I have to tell my brain stop it at least 20 times a day
Yeah.
because it's like it likes to spiral into negative thoughts that is unnecessary.
Yeah, that's the subconscious. You might want to go down there and do some reprogramming.
Yeah, and actually, goddess life, um, I experienced that myself as well, and it wasn't until I let those negative thoughts just say what they wanted to say, just to get it out. Because if I tell them to stop so much, that's adding resistance, and when you add resistance, you add strength to those negative thoughts.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to just let those negative thoughts just fly, but you don't have to speak on it. You don't have to act on
Right.
it. Once again, these are thoughts.
Yeah.
It's not required to act on every thought that you have.
Right. Because again, we're not our thoughts. You can practice doing it. Like just don't attach any emotion to it. When the thought arises, just practice just looking at it. You'll start seeing a difference. When it comes up, because we are not our thoughts, we can look at our thoughts. We can actually observe our thought. So
See
when
where
it
they're
as soon
coming
as it
from.
pops in your mind, instead of reacting to it, look at it, and you start noticing a difference.
Yeah, yeah, and that mirror work is helpful as well.
Oh, very.
I do it from time to time, and I've actually been thinking about doing it on a more constant basis, doing it as much as I meditate every day. But mirror work is definitely helpful as well.
Yeah, it's extremely helpful. It really, with the mirror work, I gotta warn you, if you haven't done it before. Sometimes, depending on how much stuff we got down there in the subconscious, in the beginning, it can be a little weird. Like you might see your face change up. Sometimes it might look a little scary. Sometimes you might see your whole face just disappear. Like it's tricky. Depending on how you treat yourself. Like if you ignore yourself a lot, you're gonna meet that too.
Yeah, and actually, if you ignore yourself, because this is something I experienced when I first started doing mirror work, and to answer your question, I may do mirror work like every 2 weeks, to be honest, but I've been wanting to do it more.
Yeah.
But when I initially started doing mirror work, I didn't see anything, right? And I didn't see anything because for the longest time, almost 3 decades, I've just been ignoring myself. So because I was ignoring myself, my inner self was like, "Fuck you! You want to come talk to me now?
Oh,
Really?
now?
Now?
Okay.
Oh, let's see.
Oh.
Let's see how bad you want it. Let's see how bad you want it."
Right.
And it wasn't until the last 2 or 3 times when I did some mirror work that actually, you know what? I can't even say that. It was before then. I want to say about 3 or 4 months ago, I started to feel things. And on this last time when I did it, I did see my face change, and I didn't have two eyes. I had just one eye up here. Like I was looking like a cyclops. I was like, "Ooh,
Man, this mirror
that
work
was."
can get, this stuff can get deep
Yeah.
when you really start getting, and you know the beauty about really getting to know yourself?
Mhm.
This is why we encourage everyone to really try to get to know themselves so much.
Mhm.
Because once you start knowing yourself and discovering who you really are, you really don't let people disrespect you like that anymore.
Or people tell you who you are.
Right? You don't let people tell you who you are. And even if they try to tell you who you are, it doesn't bother you
Mhm.
as much because you know who you are.
Mhm.
And it feels really, really good. Like, it's like a newfound love almost.
Yeah.
It's a really it's very freeing.
Yeah.
It's,
Oh yeah.
it's it's liberating and it's freeing to really spend time with you and be okay with you. Because when you leave this realm of reality, guess who coming with you?
Just you.
Not nobody.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
And real quick before we head out, because I'm just seeing this comment that just dropped in, where she said that she sees her inner child, and I have
Beautiful.
to promise her to protect her.
That's beautiful.
Um,
That is
and
beautiful.
that is beautiful, but that just brought to mind one thing that we were watching when we watched Interstellar, and
Mm.
he got into the Tesseract, and at some point while he was in the Tesseract, he understood that he wasn't there to change the past,
Mm.
and our inner child is the one who's in the past. We can, if anything, you can thank them for being strong to get you to this point in your
Mm-hmm.
life. And if there was anything that happened that was traumatizing in your childhood,
Mm-hmm.
then you can tell them, I am so sorry for
Mm-hmm.
everything that you experienced, but that wasn't your fault.
Right. And it is not you.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of times we associate our actions with who we are. Let your little self
Mm.
know whatever happened, that's not you, baby.
Mm.
Okay? It's not you. That's what you did.
Yeah.
That is not you.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we join those two things up. What you did and who you are
Mm-hmm.
is not the same.
Yep.
So just or what those type of trauma and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Always thank yourself. Be like, you know what? Bam, you did that. Look at you.
Yep.
You turned out pretty good. I mean, we might be still working on some things, but we still here. We did it.
Mm-hmm.
Did a good
Yeah.
job.
Yeah, because I can't remember who I initially heard this from, but I've heard it said so many times, is that you have to be strong in the moment so your future self will be proud of you.
Exactly.
And yes, you can learn some things from your early childhood and they can help influence your future.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you look back, hindsight 2020, say for example, like my experience, because I look back at my teenage years and I felt like my life was shitty because my mom didn't provide for us the way that I thought she should have provided for us.
Mm-hmm.
But as an adult, looking back 2020, my mom did everything that she could to provide for us. And
Yes.
sometimes she worked 2, 3 jobs.
She was a good mom.
So she did everything she could within her powers to provide me with the best life that I could experience.
Mm-hmm.
So just having that perspective does help us in the present moment.
Yes, and you have to let yourself know in whatever situation that you were in when you were a kid,
Mm-hmm.
you always have to reassure yourself that you did the best that you could have did with the information that you had at that given time.
Mm-hmm.
Because everybody always do the best that they could do with the resources that they have.
Yep.
They do the best. People always do the best, and even if they didn't do the best, they thought they did the best.
Right.
So you just tell yourself that, little self, you did the best that you could have done
Mm-hmm.
with the resources that you had at the given time.
Right.
And I'm proud of you.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
and,
Yep.
and
Yep.
then whenever you revisit that moment, now what you're doing is you're reprogramming your subconscious.
You're telling a different
You're
story.
telling yourself a different story. And by telling yourself a different story now, you're going to have a different story in the subconscious, because the subconscious is the one that rules the conscious.
Yep.
Right? So now when you start, you're going to start seeing different things manifesting in your life.
Mm-hmm.
Because, the sub, we're not always paying attention to what the sub is doing. The sub is down there ruling the underworld, just doing stuff.
Yep.
You might have different reactions now. You might notice yourself responding to people instead of reacting. Because now you're more in control.
Yep. Yeah. And I keep having these things that just keep popping up that just come to mind.
Bring it out.
I mentioned earlier that you have to get in contact with Osiris because he's the god of the underworld, right? And so many people, we went out to a metaphysical store today to get a few things for some stuff that we're trying to do.
Some tea.
And one of the ladies was talking about, oh, you can do a ritual to one of the gods or deities or anything like that. And
rituals to no god, no, we gods and deities.
and to understand something is that once you understand that we're one, and understanding that we're one, when I think of another god or deity, especially like Osiris, understanding that that's my subconscious and I am the observer and I'm watching all of this stuff, like there's no need to externalize power.
Right.
Because if
archetypes. I think these things that they call like Osiris, Tot, I think all these things, and this is just me going off of my intuition, they're archetypes.
Right.
And I think, like my baby said, everything is kind of like all one. It's just kind of knowing when to use what.
Right.
Pulling from within your own power. And not like somewhere outside here.
Yeah.
Like Osiris, right? The subconscious mind. Underworld, whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
That's you.
And that's who we go back to,
right,
after we leave this 3D realm. Because in this Bible and stuff, they say that the deeds that you do here on earth will create your heaven that you return to.
Right.
And that heaven or that haven is whatever the deeds you have done, whether they're good or whether they're bad, they're building your kingdom in your heaven, which is the underworld. Okay? And depending on what you have done, that's what you're building up to, and that's what you're going to go back to.
Right.
And so it's now time to get that subconscious in order and have it tidied up to a place that you can really flourish in.
Right, where you want to live. You want to live in chaos and mess? If you have a whole bunch of enemies down there, what you think's going to happen?
You're going to be tortured for the rest of your life.
I'm
just saying. I mean, because
for the rest of their life, they could come back here.
Yeah, you can choose to come back. Yeah. You can choose to come back. You're absolutely right.
But for real, you guys gotta get to know who you are. Get to know your subconscious. Make peace with things that you find traumatic. Like, sometimes you can go to sleep, you might wake up, you might have a nightmare or somebody chasing you or all those type of those are all in the subconscious mind. And those are just things that we are hiding from ourselves that's going to find a way to play out. It's either going to play out in your in the astros, in your dreams, or it's going to play out in your current reality.
Every time.
Every time. It's not going to fail. It's not going anywhere. Just like you're not going anywhere.
So... yeah, but we're going to leave y'all on that note.
Yes.
We love y'all so much.
So much. Thank you guys for tuning in.
And if you're new to the channel, definitely subscribe.
Yes, subscribe,
and
like, share.
Share it to a loved one. Share it to whomever you need to share it with.
Yeah, share it to someone who might need to ask themselves these 5 simple questions and give themselves 5 simple answers.
There you go. So we love y'all.
I love you guys.
Sweet dreams.
Sweet dreams.
Peace out.